it's me, Dee Sparta. Welcome to my channel. Sorry, we're just gonna get a little adjusted here. Wow. I'd like to wish you all a very happy solstice. And Merry Christmas. Christmas is coming around the corner. I've been busy also celebrating my kids' birthdays. They're December 18th and the 22nd. This weekend we just there was much fun for us as a family celebrating. And gosh, I can't believe my kids are 10 and 15 now. They're growing up so big on me. So how are you guys doing? Is December a busy month for you also? It's crazy around this time of year for me, but I've learned, found a way to enjoy it. Hey, why don't you comment down below and tell me what you guys do, any kind of traditions you do for us. It's Christmas Eve. We like to go to the movies. And then we give the kids these gifts that they can use. It's usually like pajamas, slippers, big huge fuzzy blankets, things like that. We give them on Christmas Eve. And then the next day is Christmas morning, and my in-laws stop by after we open a bunch of gifts, and then we have a big thing with more gifts we all open up. It's just such a pleasant time. And I'm looking forward to it. These traditions that we've started with my families it's wonderful. So yeah, I feel very blessed this year. I'm alive. No one in my family has gotten COVID. We have, avoided that. That's something to be grateful for. It really is. Because I have relatives who have not been so fortunate and friends, and it's nasty. Be safe, everybody. Be safe during the holidays. Please. Anyway, tonight, we're going to talk about a case that caught my eye. I was like, what? When I saw December 9th that Pamela Smart was filing for an appeal. And it was a little different this time because you see, if you don't know who Pamela Smart is, let me, honey. I'll give you a little tidbit. She was 22, working at a high school as the director of media for the school. Okay, and well, she had an affair with the 16-year-old student. And she was found guilty of, of seducing one of the students and threatening to withhold some relations from the student if he didn't kill her husband. So they're saying that she was part of it. She coerced him. She got him to do it, and so she was found guilty. She has, for the longest time, for years, has sworn, I didn't ask anybody to kill my husband. No. I had nothing to do with it. Those boys were on their own. There ended up being Flynn and 3 of his friends who ended up killing Gregory Smart. Oops, a cat just crawled up and almost fell. Thor, you gotta be careful, buddy. Sorry. Don't fall down. Anyway, so December 9th, when she filed an appeal, she actually started to take responsibility for her part in the murder. And she has filed very numerous, like dozens of appeals, I would say. I would love it if Emily Baker went over everything with her appeals and them being denied. And I mean, this case is really interesting. From a legal standpoint, now, some stuff has happened to Pamela while she was in jail, and it came out around 2004. The National Enquirer had some very naughty pictures of her posted, and it became such a deal of how did the pictures get taken, who took them, who sold them to the National Enquirer, was this consensual? And Pamela Smart says she was SA by a prison guard And a couple days later, he showed up and threatened, because he didn't want to lose his job, he threatened to kill her family. I think he said that right after the assault, and then he came back and he wanted to have stuff to cover him. So he took pictures. He wanted her to be fully naked, and she was refusing. Sorry, the cat. And I can't even get to tell you. He took the pictures, and then his girlfriend, apparently, supposedly, allegedly, from what ends up coming out, sold the pictures to the National Enquirer. Yeah, I guess the girlfriend was kind of pissed. Found out because he didn't want her to find out, if I recall correctly, what he did to Pamela. And he thought that the pictures, she would keep her mouth shut so the pictures wouldn't get released. Well, they were released. I'm really curious about getting more details. And we have a whole bunch of stuff that who's involved and the kids. And yeah, I can get more into the case, and I want to, folks. So if you want to stick around, go for it. If you prefer, just hit the chapter links down below. So you just give me cutie looks. Just hit the chapter links down below, and you can skip right ahead to that tarot reading. And I'll see you in a bit. Hey, it's me. I'm back. Whoo! All right, Pamela Smart. This all happened, I was about 18. Well, May 1st, 1990 is when Gregory Smart was shot and killed in his home in Derry, New Hampshire. Gregory Smart was, at the time, Pamela Smart's husband. They were like newlyweds. And when police and everyone showed up, it looked like it had been a burglary gone wrong. May 1st of 1990. Now, May 2nd, 1990 is when I turned 18. So, And there's some unique things about this case and why this case became just so big around the nation and not just New Hampshire. There was some stuff happening in the world at this time that did affect how this case also played out amongst the world, pretty much. The killer was a 15-year-old student named William Flynn. He went by Bill Flynn, Will Flynn, Flynn. I still don't have my caps all put on, so that's next week. My teeth, but the journey of my teeth. If you haven't been around long enough, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get into it. I'm old and having old dental work all repaired. It's a lot of work. Anyway, Pamela, she ended up being found guilty of accomplice to first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and witness tampering. Yep. Flynn and Smart, as it was say, they were lovers, and Flynn is accused of being a hitman that was hired. How he was hired. This is by threatening to terminate the relations if he didn't go through with killing her husband, is what he says. She says, I didn't say that. I wasn't going to withhold anything. This case just kind of goes, it's cringy all around because we're dealing with a 22-year-old adult with a 15-year-old kid. It's just, the P word I can't use, but that's what she is, folks. That's what she is. Now, they had met at his high school in Hampton, New Hampshire. Hampton. It's at Winnicott High, I believe was what. And she was the director of media services. I believe I've mentioned that. Now, Flynn, he was sentenced to 28 years for second-degree murder. And Pamela, though, Smart, she was given life without parole, folks. No parole. The other boys were also given around. Some of them were. I'll get into it later. I'm going to go into it right now. We'll get into that. We'll dive in here. Will, as I'm Flynn, he had, it was actually 40 years to life, but they had suspended 12 years, which shortened it. And then in 2008, he was eligible for parole because he had served at least 25 years, but he wasn't granted until 2015. And Patrick Randall, who was also involved, he had the 40 years to life, 12 years suspended. And in 2009, he became eligible for parole. And then he was finally paroled also in 2015. Now, Kitty's. Now, there was another gentleman, Vance Latime. He was given 30 years to life. 12 years were suspended, and then it was reduced by 3 years in 2005. And in 2005 is when he got paroled. He had a less part in the play of Gregory Smart being killed, and I think was able to make a deal. And Raymond Fowler, I think he was the getaway car guy. He got 15 to 30 years, but paroled out in 2003. He did have a little bit of a parole violation in 2004, but he got re-paroled in 2005, and he's been out. Okay. People say that Flynn was also known also by the police because he was a criminal, and he was, gotten burglary and such. So they're like trying to say that he is not a victim of any kind. He made the choice, sorry for the distraction, to kill Gregory Smart. Yeah. Now, Pamela has tried to appeal over these years. Ever since the trial ended, her mom's been by her side trying to help her all this time, and every request has always been denied. They've even tried to say Flynn wasn't the actual shooter, it was someone else. But Flynn's the one who went on the stand because, let me tell you, honey, he could cry. I'll get into that in a moment. Let's go into what happened on August 1st of 1990. Pamela was arrested and charged with her role for the murder. The police were like, yeah, this wasn't a burglary gone wrong, and they found out there were some issues and that she was cheating with a student, and yeah. Now, what's so important about that date and why this case went whoosh? Well, we're going to get a little bit of history here. Some of you may not know, but August 2nd of 1990, Iraq invaded Kuwait. That was huge, folks. And up until this time, there was, we had news, we had local channels. Cable wasn't what it is today. And now it's all streaming. You can do more, pick and choose what channels you want or don't want. It's a lot different. And we didn't have, the MSNBCs, the CNN, and Fox News. This stuff didn't come, it wasn't, they were like, when CNN came out, it's all news, and everyone's like, what? Who would want to watch news 24/7? Well, what happened was that this changed the trend. That because CNN had constant news coverage of the Persian Gulf War. This type of coverage was very new and also very addicting. Now, when the war wound down, there wasn't as much to cover. And then it happened. March 4th, 1991. The 14-day trial started of Pamela Smart. Now, you could say that this kind of went viral. It became, people were it was like the newest thing to watch, could be covered on the news, and the case was, the trial and everything was covered live, and people were, New Hampshire was like all in tune. And from that, it just splurged to the rest of the nation and go forth. And CNN, they that they found their source, and I think in some ways they might have pumped some things up, make it more dramatic to try and get that. And it didn't help that during the trial, Pamela came across very stoic. She was very cold and just, you know, just just like a shell of a person. She did not come out across real well. While Flynn, he put on this huge, dramatic, tearful confession of how he shot and killed Gregory. And it was intense. And this kid was breaking down, tears. And everyone started saying, oh, he was manipulating this poor child, and that, yeah, changed the world and view on things too. And so now people are saying, that Pamela does deserve life without parole. But there's still some people who believe that her case should be appealed, that she didn't get a fair sentencing. Well, there's lots of books, movies, and TV series that are covering her case. I don't recall if I've watched any of them, to be honest with you. I mean, I watched the case happen. That was, what I did. Kitties are still here. Now, December 9th of this year, just a couple weeks ago, Pamela filed for another appeal. And she wrote a letter to the governor and the executive council. She says things along the line of, I have now spent over 31 years in prison, more than half my life. I apologize to the Smart family, my own family, and all who were directly or indirectly impacted by my actions and misjudgments. Now, she didn't quite admit to plotting the murder, but she does go on to say that her affair with Flynn had led to her husband's death. For many years, I blamed others for my incarceration because I was immature, selfish, and proud. I refused to see my own role in Greg's death. It took years, even decades, for me to accept responsibility, and I must carry that burden. Now, people have seen that Pamela Smart, while she's been in prison, she has worked very hard to try and redeem herself. She's earned several degrees. She even became an ordained minister, and she counsels other inmates. Now, it is looking like her appeal is actually going to be considered, which has never been before. And let's see here. I believe it was the district attorney who came out. I know the terrible impact Ms. Smart's crime had on the community and the state. Oh, it was superintendent wrote this in a letter, Elaine Lord. It is fair to argue that 30 years represents fair punishment and that Ms. Smart's contributions to her own self-improvement of others constitutes reform. Smart says that she also has job offers if she is paroled, and her brother John in California is offering housing. So she's trying to say, hey, if I get let out, I'm going to be able to work. I have a place to live. Just let this I've served this long, and they're saying that she has reformed. And so the Attorney General's office has said, yes, we are reviewing this petition before the Executive Council votes on whether to grant a hearing or not. Never before, usually it's just been nope, nope, nope. So it's a little different this time. The governor has said if the council wants to take it up as a hearing, then we always kind of lean on them to decide if that's the right path forward or not, The governor would just decide if Smart should be eligible for parole after a hearing. She has made several requests over the years and has never, ever been granted the hearing. Now, while she has been incarcerated, several things have happened. Like, I think in the first year or two, she was beaten by 2 inmates. She actually had to have surgery and have a face plate put in half her face. Plastic plate put in. And she was beaten because the inmates said that she had ratted them out about their relationship, and now they're being separated and blah blah blah. And yeah, so she got her ass beat. But something else also happened to Pamela Smart while she was in jail, and you find out, she's not the only person who's had this happen, and it's very alarming. You see, I'm going to get into SA here, the R word, She ended up suing the prison and a male guard for her claims that she was SA'd. And there were controversial pictures of her barely dressed published in 2003 to the National Enquirer. And when the National Enquirer printed these photos, that's when a federal lawsuit was initiated. Curiously enough, ouch! You got little claws and they just dug in my finger. Thor, that hurt. The New York Attorney General's office is trying to dismiss the case. That's shady shit. I don't dig shit. If you don't dig shady shit, because here, shady shit, kitties, I love y'all. Come on. That's stuck to me. It's bad, right? Now, here's what she says has happened. That she was R'd, the R word, by a guard, and that he told her that if she said anything to anybody about it, he would kill her family because he had access to the information about where they lived. You see, all visitors sign in and register, so guards do have that information. He came in one time, and then a couple days later, he came back, and she was afraid he was going to do it again. She tried to talk about it, and he said no, he wants to get some extra insurance that she'll keep her mouth shut so he doesn't lose his job. So he took pictures of her. He demanded first that she strip completely, no clothes. She refused to do that, though, and she thought, no, you want to hurt me again. You want to arm me again, and finally she talked him out of everything to just lingerie. She was just like, please. If it is said that if you look at the pictures, it doesn't look like this is somebody who's happy and celebrating, their sexuality being, free, but more of someone who's captive, who's upset, afraid, unhappy. It looks like she was coerced into these pictures. Now, it became a big, huge thing of who released the pictures. And the National Enquirer says, oh, we got it from the guard's girlfriend. Yeah. Now, this is the most sickening part. When Pamela came forward, and when those pictures came out, and she was like, no, I was assaulted. And then he took these to keep me quiet. They arrested her. They can't put her in handcuffs, threw her in solitary, hot little room, 100 degrees outside, and she's roasted in there, all because of what the National Enquirer article had said. Now, it was a bogus story about what had happened, but you know what? The Enquirer was in the Enquirer. Inquiry minds, I don't know. I'm sorry, my finger is a little claw. That hurt. Now, the National Enquirer came out and was like, oh no, Pamela Smart was not our source, folks. She was not connected in any way with these pictures. And they put it in writing, on June 3rd, 2003. Not her. That article, she did not have anything with us releasing this article. But the prison people, they kept alleging that it was her, that Pamela smuggled in a camera herself, took those pictures herself, and sold them to the National Enquirer. Yeah. And made up this story just out of some fantasy, because of the guard, Yeah. Now, this is definitely a criminal act. And she was abused and word essayed. And it was not consensual. In fact, any kind of intercourse, sex in prison is never consensual. It's illegal. So there's no such thing as consensual sex. It's statutory R word, no matter what it really is. But in this case, he blackmails her, extorts her, harasses her, threatens her, talks about killing parents, and comes back 2 days later, takes these pictures illegally, and then has the nerve to have his girlfriend sell them and write a bogus story for profit. That's what people are saying. This is what Pamela Smart's, those who are on her side were saying. Ow, my knees. Where's my blanket? Excuse me, folks. It is cold and I have arthritic knees, man, joints. Now, apparently the girlfriend had tried to sell these pictures a year earlier, and they couldn't, but this time she did. And it's like ridiculous that Pamela was the one arrested for it. And this to me means there's something bigger going on. And I'm like, what? Now, Pamela did win her case. And she got a settlement. It was like $23,000. She got about $7,000 of it. The rest of it went to her attorney. But she's accused the state prison officials of unfair treatment. The high-profile killer, as they say, had racy pictures of her in prison cell, which appeared in the National Enquirer, were taken by a correctional officer who essayed her. This was just mind-blowing. Like, what? Now, another person, Carolyn Warmus. Now, she was also serving time for killing the wife of her lover. This was another known case, and similar situation happened to her there, folks. And she received a $10,000 settlement. Then another woman comes out while she was being paroled and says, this happened. My parole officer showed up at my apartment and he essayed me, and the situation is very similar to what happened with Pamela Smart. And they were trying to say, well, you went to the same facility as her and you must have knew her, and all, the woman was like, well, she's a sweet person. Pamela's sweet. That's all she would say. But they kept trying to say, the government was trying to say, oh, you just making this up because you heard what happened with Pamela Smart, and so you're just trying to get money. And yeah, this whole don't believe the victims, these are just criminals, they're not real humans. So there are women, I'm sure still to this day this is happening. And it's happening to men too. I would not be surprised. So yeah, this story is just one of these that just makes you whoosh. So I kind of want to do a tarot reading. I don't know what we're going to come up with. I always say that, don't I? I'm really intrigued to find out, what's going on, So, yeah, we're going to dive into that tarot reading right about now. I'm back, but I have to tell you, that was really kind of creepy, what happened. It was asking for permission to access photos of my system. That's why the camera froze. Weird, right? Okay, so let's get back into this. Yeah, I've got her energy, and it's just real heavy here. Real heavy, and almost like choking. It's real heavy. Um, she's been through. I do feel bad for her, folks. Just the pain. She's put others through so much pain, and realizing it was so selfish. Often this is known as an apprenticeship card. It's to teach someone. Um, Here is, she's wanting financial independence. She's wanting to, so she made the priority was these students and money. What I'm seeing, she wanted her financial freedom. Kind of probably promised more than what is all being said. I think it was more salacious to say that she was going to withhold intimate relations than it was more about money. Okay. See this? This is... I hate that card. I really do. When I'm saying she has a lot of regret, she has been rethinking about everything that transpired in this relationship and getting the boys involved. She recognizes a passive coercion that she was actually doing. It was like she didn't want to admit, but there was a lot of hints. I'd be so happy. I was thinking things would be so much better. And this is the Chariot reverse. Dun, dun, dun. This is... the boys made the final decision themselves. They weren't seeing the clear, full picture. They just thought, let's help Pamela out. She might have painted Gregory worse than he was. And they wanted to free her. Six of Pentacles reversed here, folks. And I mean, wow. This is just, she wanted money. This is all just her being selfish, one-sided. She wasn't thinking of how her wanting this could affect others and the lives of these young men. It was, she was truly blinded by the truth. There was like this narcissism that was there. I don't see it there now. I see that there's something different. She looks back and sees, oh, I did do all this that people are saying. I did manipulate. Here's the Three of Cups. The woman is like pretty much, this is... working together, people coming together. I'd like to see what other cards go along with that one. Ooh, okay. Death. This is actual death. This is the boy. You know, this has been all the stuff with the boys, and we're seeing they're the ones who committed it. There was a celebration. There was almost like we did it. You know, there was okay. That's not what I expected to see. Because if you listen, Flynn, who did the killing, he had come across crying and very repentant of like, oh my gosh, I killed someone. And when he did it, and it was really just like gut wrenching for people. Some people thought he was just fake. Well, maybe later on when he realized when he got caught, that's when he started crying, regretting. Because beforehand, these kids were like with Pamela celebrating. Because here's the Emperor, folks, and the Emperor, he's like, very structured, planned, everything. I think, you know, while she did some of the boys planned it on their own. Here's the Fool. Wow. This just took a turn. This is innocence. But I'm trying to see. It's like everything just shifted. I have a different feeling over me. Now we have the Queen of Swords. She's a bad bitch. She speaks straightforward. Who is that? Who's supposed to be her? Okay. Oh. Oh. This is the star. Wait. Yeah. She's going to be getting out at some point. She's going to get out. She really believes and has faith in this. Kind of want to... Maybe she will get out this time. It's just... Somebody's going to speak up about something. Yeah, here's the Hangman. It's about taking a new perspective. You know, it's the reverse. So I've seen her sentence being reversed. I don't like being that, like, this is what's going to happen. But that's what I think the cards are telling me here. Oh. There's a card that just flipped. Where is it? Okay. 5 Pentacles. It's usually, horny. You don't want to let go. You're worried, isolated, trapped. She was put in solitary confinement for a while. Okay. Well, here's the Knight of Swords. Now, this is the knight is just someone who's they're very ambitious, and they just want to jump out there, action, get it done. They don't slow down very well. So, oh, what is going on here? Reversal of being trapped. Okay, the High Priestess. Uh-huh. This is an awareness kind of be coming out. Okay, I think I know what I'm seeing here. There is people trying to keep her oppressed and silent. Not wanting it to come to light, but it looks like it's going to. Yeah. I can't believe hope. Shine the light on this. I'm seeing somebody and I don't know who they are. This is the Six of Swords. This person has been trying to block any appeal. But she has been through so much. She's going to be this is all saying she's going to be released. Even though someone higher up has been trying to stop it. And here's the Five of Cups. She ticked off somebody, folks. We only probably the case. But she is going to find peace and healing. And I think this has to do with the essay from that prison guard we're dealing with. The Page of Swords. Reverse. This is young, immature energy here. Being hasty. Oh. The Empress, anti of nurturing. The Empress. She's very dependent on how others are going to perceive her situation. The situation that she had with the prison guard, she's worried how it's going to color her. Because some people think it was all made up. Some, she playing the system. She only did it for money. But her perseverance and being defiant and speaking up is what has caused a problem. Ace of Cups. She has repressed so many of her emotions, and it's now coming out. I think she's at a point in her life where she's seeing what she's done wrong, what has happened to her. And you know what? I can't remain silent anymore. I don't have to. And, you could lock me in solitary, you could keep me in prison, but I stood by my truth. And here's the Ace of Wands. She is manifesting this opportunity, this appeal to come forward. She's like, yeah. She is just pushing and making it happen. It's going to come out in the news, something breaking about her situation with the SA, how she was innocent and set up, and there's other women and other officers. Yeah, you got the double reversed here. This is somebody nasty. This is a nasty system going on. There is like this mentality that the prisoners are for our play, our pleasure, our gain. We don't have to treat them right. And it's like a pleasure they take in it. The dude who stole the pictures, that was a bad thing. That didn't go over well. Okay. So, yeah. They're upset. He did not show temperance. And so, didn't think things out. He just thought of get some money and to hurt Pamela more, because who was going to believe him or her? He thought he could put the stuff out in the news. It was bad plan. That's what this reversed. Bad plan, dude. Bad plan. And I think it shook things up. That's interesting. I want to pull from my dark mirror oracle deck here. Alrighty, folks. What? Revenge. There is somebody who died. A woman was killed in prison. And people want revenge for that. The temple of my body. Being assaulted. You took... Yeah. There's a ring. It's like a... Ugh. Inside a parasite. in the... It's... Folks... There's more victims out there, and someone that's going to be coming and crying out for revenge. Gilded regret. And someone's regretting that they didn't speak up, and also we're dealing with Pamela's regrets that she, what she did, she's recognizing it now, and it's caged her, and she's all alone in the world. I think the inmates who are being assaulted, S8, they feel alone in the world, like no one can help them, and because they're in jail, they're fated to suffer. That's exactly it. There's no hope. They're there, and these guards, they're being protected by higher ups. I think, like, the pictures, they probably could sell it among each other. It's almost seeing like a ring. Finger and chains. Hey, this reminds me of a Sith. Because their anger is going to free them. Break the chains. Naked before the stars. Vulnerable. Being bound. There's women being abused and tortured there by the guards because they have sick obsession. I don't even want to keep digging this further because I think we get the picture. There's a lot of shady shit. Shady shit. And because I think we really need prison reform, jail reform, reform with the parole and probations. Because we have people who shouldn't be going to jail. We've had people been put on death row and sentenced to death, get gassed or, injected. And you find out they're innocent all around. And you also hear about the abuse prisoners get. Because, well, they're in jail. So these guards, they feel high and mighty, like this God complex. So they could get away with anything because no one's going to believe the trash. So we can live out these sick fantasies and never be held accountable for it. And I want to vomit because that's what I'm seeing and it's wrong. And I really, really hope that this comes out. There's more awareness. With Pamela Smart, filing this appeal, maybe they'll become more aware that this is happening, that there is a danger to a bunch of women. And there might also be men. This could be going on with the male. I'm not going to say it's only, but right now I'm dealing with Pamela Smart and her situation and the women that have come forward. And there's many women who've never come forward because, well, I don't think Pamela would ever come forward except for Bonehead sold the pic, got a crazy idea to sell pictures to National Enquirer. So we got that there. That was an interesting, I think that was interesting reading to me. I really do hope that there is justice in the situation with any of the other women who have been harmed. This is a tough case. It's not easy, is it? Well, please comment down below. Tell me what other cases you'd like to see. There's so many different, true crime shows coming out. And people are trying to solve mysteries. Just let me know which ones are intriguing to you. If there's something paranormal, you're curious. Is this for real? What's going on? What could have happened? If someone is saying they did this because of something paranormal, let me know. I'd love to do that kind of reading. It's always intriguing to me. I thank y'all for sticking around. All the new subscribers, thank you. Please hit the like button. Let me know that you like this. Comment with what your thoughts are on this case, what you think you see. Also, comment and let me know what other cases you want to see. If you join this channel, you're also going to be getting, in the new year, you're going to get a lot more benefits, a lot more of my posts, private posts on the community tab, and more polls. And if you are a member, when you ask me to do, put a suggestion, as I've done before, I will take on that case, unless there's some reason I should out. But most cases, I want to dive into it if I haven't already. Okay? I love y'all. Please remember, Merry Christmas. Happy solstice. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. I love you guys. Bye.